Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ahmed and this is an episode of Memories and Lessons with Chai. And here I have my chai right here. It's actually doodh patti, but it's the real shit. So today I wanted to change things up a little bit. I've been doing like a lot of episodes that are quite heavy, fashion's biggest mistake, AI, polarization, but I wanted to talk about something that's been quite close to my heart and been on my mind for quite a few years, passions. About the dangers of trends clouding your ability to see your passion. So if you're somebody who's trying to pursue their passions, if you're somebody who's in university trying to figure out what to do once you're done, then you should really hear me out and let me know what you think, because this is my observation. I feel like the first time I made a bad decision because of a trend was when I applied for med school after high school. Actually, scratch that. I think the first stupid decision I made based on the trend was when I decided to grow like a chin strap beard. I don't know if you guys remember, like it was like those pencil thin ones, that looked like they were drawn on. It kind of blew up when Masari dropped a song called Real Love. I think I even wore like a white t-shirt to school, like very often. Luckily I fell short of wearing a banyan because most of my banyans had holes in them, so like I couldn't wear those. Anyway, I digress. So I applied for medical school and then I got rejected, mostly because I didn't do so well on my IB exams. And then I did this thing called clearing, which is where you like call up universities and be like, hey, I didn't get into university, do you have any free spots? And I think I called Imperial first and I was like, hey guys, and they're like, hey, f you, close the phone. And then luckily Birmingham University gave me a spot and I did computer engineering instead of computer science, which is what I do now, mostly because computer engineering had the word engineering in it. Like looking back now, it should have been very obvious that I should have done, computer science to begin with, because I've always been good with technology. When I was 12, I was programming. When I was 13, I was making like Backstreet Boys parody videos on iMovie. When I was 14, our school was doing this experiment where they were giving everyone iBook G4s, like the old Macs. But what I did is I downloaded like Apple Remote Desktop and I could control everyone's screen in the entire school. Now, despite knowing that I was good at technology, when it came to actually applying for university, it was like medicine, no question. And that's because everyone around me was a doctor. My dad's a doctor, my friends are doctors, my friends' parents are doctors, and I didn't really know anything else. I think that's one of the challenges that we as a society have to really push against, because we have these norms, and those norms are usually very local. So, in your community, everyone will do X, and then you tend to follow that. Like, your parents and family are all lawyers, so you just become a lawyer. But it's not necessarily true that that's the best path for you. We have to be able to differentiate between what are trends and what are our true passions, and where do our strengths lie in that spectrum. I have no doubt that a lot of my friends are good doctors or lawyers or accountants or computer scientists, which seems to be a trend now, and they love it. But I know a lot of my friends don't. And I think that has to do with the fact that it's hard to differentiate between what they think is their passion and strength and what the trends tell them are their passions and strengths. I think that's really bad for not only our local communities, but our wider society, where one man or woman is a good accountant or a good doctor, he or she could have been a great musician, a great architect, a great actor. I don't think we need more brown doctors, lawyers, or accountants. I mean, if that's your passion, go for it. But just make sure it's your passion. Make sure you're not following a trend. Do you know how many great doctors I know who are also even greater musicians, greater entrepreneurs and YouTubers? Imagine they were allowed to pursue that full time. Some of them have taken that leap of faith and, pursued their passion. But a lot of them are still flirting with the idea, still dreaming about the day where they're gonna drop that single. It's gonna blow up. Everyone's gonna be talking about it. They're gonna become John Legend. I don't know if you guys know this, but John Legend worked at BCG as a consultant. Then he dropped All of Me. Imagine he was still a BCG consultant, like trying to build Excel sheets. The other guy is Jay Sean. I think he went to Queen Mary Med School or something. Imagine he finished and become a doctor, but that musical fire is still burning inside of him. And today he's an anesthesiologist and he's injecting some anesthesia into a patient, whispering into their ear, baby, are you down, 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 down? We all have to be aware of the trends around us. And it's really difficult because we have to ask ourselves, are we doing this because this is our strength and this is our passion? Or are we doing this because this is what everyone in my community or everyone in my society tells me that I need to do. There's this narrative in society that smart people do X. That narrative. Because there are smart people in every industry. You just gotta pick your industry, know what your strengths are, reflect, and play to those strengths. Play to those passions. Because when you're working 5 days a week, you don't wanna be living for the weekends. You don't wanna be spending most of your time doing something that you're not excited about, and you're not good at, or you're average at. So find the things that you're good at and do them. My last point is an important one, and it's just to show that this isn't an easy thing to do. It's not easy to differentiate between trends and what your passions are and what your strengths are. Because even when I finished undergrad, I was still following trends. I applied for management consulting and investment banking. I got rejected from all but one, and that forced me to apply for a master's program, which is how I ended up at Cambridge and then did my PhD. But had I been accepted, I would have done something that I was unhappy about. And it's likely or possible that eventually I would have found out that I was unhappy about it and then looked at other options. But the sooner you can find that out, the better, because the less risk you need to take. You know, if you're finding out that your passion is computer science and you're already financially leveraged, you know, you've got obligations to your family, then it's kind of hard to take that risk. But if you kind of reflect now and think about, what is it that I really want to do? Do I really want to do this? Is this my strength? Am I good at this? The other thing is that we as a society have to make it easier for young professionals and students to know what jobs are out there. You know, I'm not talking about those like quizzes that you do online to tell you what job you should be, because every time I take that quiz, I get like theme park attendant or something like that. But really educate younger kids, even in their school years, what kind of professions are out there. I really suffered from that. I didn't really know what was out there other than medicine. And maybe they can then use that to match their strengths. So, you know, they can reflect, find out what their passions and their strengths are, and try to match it with real roles that exist out there in the world. Don't let trends cloud your vision about what your passions and strengths really are. It's better for you, it's better for our communities, and it's better for society.